You call.
Largest ham club in the nation, that's the lie they sell. 15% by the pitch, the rest can tell. You call, you write, you wait for months, dead air answers from polished fronts. Booted suits and carpeted rooms, living off dues and yesterday's fumes. They preach community, cash the checks, then vanish like ghosts when you ask what's next. National road, but nobody's home. 15% don't make a throne. Charge more, do less, smile and wave. Digging the hobby and early grave. Volunteer miles. This is payroll radio. Half the dues go straight to CEO. 360 grand for the man up top. Volunteer or just fucking stop. Half the money goes to salaries, while relevance dies of apathy. Hundreds employed doing what exactly besides printing ads and calling it legacy. New club, sorry, pay the toll. Long forms, big fees, bureaucratic hell. National road, but nobody's home. 15% don't make a throne. Charge more, do less, raise the dues, cut the magazine, still feed the suits. Volunteer miles, read the books. The ship's run by crooks in cardigans and hoods. 30,000 licenses every year, 3,000 join then disappear. 600 stick it out till year 2, 600 more die. Numbers don't lie. Do you membership goals surpassed? What a joke was losing members. The goal you wrote, no target set, no plan, no spine, just glossy lies and declining lines. Captain says 49's a steal, says it's straight face, says it's real, while the deck is flooding. Alarms all scream, he's steering proud toward the iceberg gleam. We're still printing magazines like it's Reagan's turn, backs on every page. Info half firm, now raise the dues, cut the print. Same old scam, different tint. $59 a month for ads and dust, no ID Used to fight for the hobby, fight for the air. Now hail winds, they just shrug and stare. License fees hit, they did nothing. 3 gigahertz gone, still bluffing. Why pay $59 a month for air for nothing useful, nothing there? Just warm feelings and righteous shame. Pay up or you don't love the game. National lord, national joke, living off loyalty, guilt and smoke. Charging more, giving less, calling failure progress. Volunteer minds, read the chart. This isn't leadership, it's falling apart.
All right, well, there you go. Good evening, everybody. One of my new songs I just did a few minutes ago, I used Grok to write the lyrics, and then I put those into Suno, S-U-N-O, and it made the song, and I did all that starting about 26 minutes ago, and I just played it for you guys. I have 4 versions of it, actually, and I think I like that one second best. I'll play the other version as we go into these other breaks later tonight. It's my ARRL protest song. It's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys could hear all the lyrics, but it's singing about the ARRL and the final days of that once powerful and amazing club, now turned into a bloated bureaucratic bureaucracy where literally they're charging $59 a month. They've been lowering services for years now, including canceling their printed magazine. And on top of all that, they're paying their president $360,000 a year, which would be enough to print the magazine. It's almost ridiculous. I mean, let me go back. I don't know why I just made that statement. It's completely ridiculous. So anyway, I decided I'm going to start making some satire music. I love satire music, where it's a great song, catchy tune, and it sings about something that you care about or don't care about. So there you go. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Hey, Victor, what's up? Hey, Crowbar. Hey, Heath, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, I like a good protest song. So anyway, hello everybody. My name's Ian. This is Starship Adventures. We are broadcasting live tonight from Starship Studios in North Fort Myers, Florida, right along the coast. We're about 7 miles or 8 miles from the coast here, and we have been here through a bunch of hurricanes recently, but we did make it through this year unscathed. Hey, Junior, what's up, man? Glad you're here. Yeah, there's a lot, there's not a whole lot going on tonight, but we are going to go through what's going on. Space weather's quiet, terrestrial weather quiet, and not a whole lot going on. I do have on the cameras, we'll go ahead and take a look around at what's going on with the cameras. Kilauea, it just went crazy. In the last hour or two, it started putting up a lot of smoke and debris. And I'm hoping this camera can hold on. I don't know exactly how close it is or what, but we are on borrowed time, I think, with this camera. We've already lost one last week, and now looks like we might have another one here. Hey, Joey, what's up, man? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's the center one. Up in the top right, that is what we have right now for protests. I don't know exactly what, but it doesn't look like much. I see one guy with a bullhorn. I have to tell you, these protests, I think, have pretty much devolved into about 10 people that are trying to get their YouTube channels doing better. And every night, they go live and they ride all the way down to the ICE detention center They stand in front of the building by themselves or maybe in groups of two or threes. And the funny thing is, they're all YouTubers. And you end up with all these streams coming in. It's all the same thing. And this guy with the beard, he's been going every night. This is his thing. He's going every night. And he's protesting. And I don't even know what side he's protesting on, to be honest with you, because there's people protesting ICE, and then there's people protesting the people that are protesting ICE, or the people supporting ICE, however you want to call it. So anyway, I don't know exactly what. Anyway, upper left, that is Christmas cameras. At least, yeah, this is a walking tour of Manhattan, New York at Christmas time. And it's funny because it was supposed to be live, but obviously now we know it's not live. It must have recycled back to the beginning of the stream. But this is what New York looks like at Christmas. I'll leave it up for a little while. Below that, you got Christmas cams from all over the place. Some beautiful shots there of the different Christmas cams. And then Bryant Park, New York, where they are skiing, snow skating right now. And so that's what we have going on. We'll keep all that going for you guys, plus a look at the weather. And again, the only place we really, it's almost weird because this is exactly what it looked like last night pretty much, except they've expanded this general thunderstorm advisory here. Up here, we still have special weather statements issued, and a flood warning. These special weather statements include heavy rainfall during the last week, and then including more today will increase the threat of landslides in western Washington. So that's what that's all about. Again, look at the amount of rain. They don't get these volume of rain like this out there. So this is a little unusual for them to get this volume of rain. And we have some areas there that have seen 10 and 15 inches of rainfall, which is a lot for them. And so there we go. We're going to keep an eye on that. All right, but I'm not aware of any storm chasers that are out tonight, and I really don't have any cams anywhere close to any of the really bad weather. There really is no bad weather other than some rain in Seattle. We've got a small front stretched through. Sorry about that. Jesus, we had a small front stretched through from the national border up through Nacogdoches, and all this is all that is associated with a front all the way up through here to Little Rock. Okay, so that's all associated with a cold front. Yeah, it certainly isn't live out in New York, I know, but it is showing the Christmas shots there. This was live when I put it up, but what happens is it recycles when they cancel it or they end their stream. A lot of times it will go back and start over again, and that's what's happened. So we're watching it. It's going to get dark in this video before long, but we'll keep it up for right now. We'll see what else I can find. And if anybody gets any breaking news or sees anything I should be aware of, please let me know. I am watching the chat room. If you put it in Discord, you have to let me know in the chat room, because I can't see Discord all the time like I do the chat room. Okay, so kind of a slow start tonight, but people are starting to filter in. If anybody has anything you would like to have me cover or discuss, just let me know. I'll be glad to take requests. But there you go. Again, not a whole lot going on tonight. I'll go ahead and look at what we do have going on. President Trump will be speaking tomorrow night at 9 p.m. During the show. I don't really think I should take it. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, because you can watch it anywhere. But it's supposed to be an important announcement. But knowing Trump like I do, it's going to go on for an hour at least. I don't know. I've been really toying with this back and forth. Should I take the coverage? Should I take it screen and talk about it while it's going on? Should I not take it? Should I put it up in the corner with the closed captioning on so you guys can read it? I'm not sure. So you guys let me know what you think I should do. Yeah. Hey, Kevin. aftershocks in Wall Street. I'll check that right now. I'll see if I can grab that one real quick. I don't know. I assume this is the one. Alright. We'll try this one. Switch back to here. Okay, there we go, guys. This is going to be Rockefeller Center, New York. When the ads quit playing. Everybody's got to make their little penny there. I know, because I'm one of them. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to work in my ads during musical breaks and stuff. Western Washington, 60-mile-an-hour winds expected tonight. Yeah, this is, they got some pretty heavy stuff moving through right now. I'll put the radar back up there here. But yeah, we've got some pretty heavy crap moving through right now. Northern California as well. But yeah, Vancouver to Victoria, it's pouring like you know what right now. As we say down here, it's pouring like a cow pissing on a flat rock. Daddy Kitty is doing much better. He doesn't want to come in the shed anymore. It's kind of weird. You know how cats are. He'll be back. And everybody else is fine. Mama Bleep, still not perfect. She's an older cat. She's still kind of in recovery, I think, from that mess a month ago. Still not quite herself, a little lethargic. I think she lost some muscle mass. I don't know. I'm a little worried about her. But she's all right. She's hanging in there. She's just an old kitty. You know, I think she's good 8, 9, 10 years old, and she's a genetic deficient neighborhood cat, product of inbreeding, feral when I got her. You know the story, guys. I take what I can get out of them. Lone Silencer, what's up, man? Let's see. I'm trying to see who I haven't said hi to. Old Fashioned, what's up? All right, so I'm going to play it again, but I'm working on making music with Suno, S-U-N-O. And I'm using Grok and ChatGPT to write the lyrics to the song because Suno doesn't seem to be able to come up with decent lyrics. So I have ChatGPT or Grok write my lyrics, and then I paste it into Suno, and it makes the music, and it works great. Hey, VTX, what's up, man? So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So I made that ARRL protest video, which I'm going to play on our first commercial break coming up here in just a little while. Hey Heath, well yeah, it's very mild down here. We're technically had a cold front go through, but it's still not that cold. Mid 50s tonight. and then warming back up over the next few days. Um, I'm not aware of much snow. No, no, not much snow at all, actually. We can take a look here. Um, yeah, I mean there is some light stuff dropping up here that's probably coming down as snow, but it's definitely pretty far north of you. It's up in the Great Lakes area. So really nothing there. These pink boxes, these are high fire danger, red flag warnings, and these are also fire warnings and red flag warnings, both for fire. And then up here we've got a special weather statement there. What would that be for? Fog or some shit? A blowing dust health alert in effect for the Powder River Basin of northeastern Wyoming. Okay, so it's a blowing dust health alert. There you go. I wasn't even sure they had such a thing, but now you know, and you know, now that you know, knowing's half the battle. What the hell's going on? That thing just keeps on playing, don't it? Okay. Yeah, that upper left now, Rockefeller Center. That's live. It's some great pictures coming in there. That's from Walks in Wall Street. Walks in Wall Street. Another great, what looks like a great YouTube channel that I just subscribed to. Yeah, I know. I hit it and it didn't play, and then I realized that I had turned that pot down because it had the music on it. So here you go. The more you know. That's been a public safety announcement from Starship Adventures.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
That's right. And knowing is half the battle. All right. All right, so let's go back down here. Stuff I don't care about. First of all, I have a real hard time with the fact that sports is not news, first of all. I don't think they should even mention sports topics on news channels. I don't even give a shit when they get arrested for stuff. Hey, what's up? I think I just peed myself. Well, I got this thing with Rob Reiner is surprising. I mean, I've never been a Rob Reiner fan. I didn't even like Meathead the character, if you know what I mean. But no one deserves this. What a mess. I feel so bad for him and his family. They luckily did get to live most of a life, but still, it's terrible. These kids nowadays, man, they have no respect at all. And I know there's a long story there, and his parents were probably both crazy, so that probably all led to it too. But I'm not going to sit here and talk ill of the dead. I'll let everybody else do that. Yep, the Joe Biden thing, the auto pin, they're trying to reverse all of the things that were done with the auto pin because it doesn't work that way. The president has to sign this shit. And if he doesn't sign it and he has to sign the auto pin, there has to be an affidavit for that, and he has to have been present when it was done, and that wasn't the way it was done. So I mean, there's going to be some issues there. I don't know what's going to end up going on there. Weird stories. A doctor and a mom of two found in a Dollar Tree freezer dead. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I wonder what happened there. Parents and teachers Now, I'm sure this is in California. I mean, come on, right? Parents and teachers have come together and put their money together to create an app to help warn illegals when ICE is in the area. I got news for them. There's already been 5 other groups that have done that now. And there's these ICE alert apps out there. And you can go on and let people know. Oh, Oregon. This was in Oregon. So I guess the other one's already going in LA or in California. This one is in Oregon. It's like Waze. You know how we report the police up on the interstate on Waze? Well, this actually works the same, I guess, for illegal aliens. If you see ICE like getting ready to go in an area, you can alert it, and it will let everybody with the app know that ICE is in the area. So yeah, an interesting thing. Yeah, I wonder. No idea. And Sludgeon, thanks again for that super the other night. I missed it. I didn't even see it in the chat. And so I missed it. And I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that again. Let's see here. ICE Chief slams Omar's ridiculous claim about son was stopped by agents. Jesus. What is wrong with these people? And Howard Stern announces he's going to stay with his current broadcast partner now into the future. So he's signed another contract, and he's going to be staying with what is it, Sirius XM. So he is staying with them, and he's going to continue doing the same kind of thing he's been doing. I have a love-hate with Howard Stern. I listened to him some way back in the Shock Jock days. Kind of grew away from him, but I will tell you, his movie is one of my favorite movies. I don't know why. I guess because I'm in broadcasting. But that movie is one of my favorite movies. So I give the man great credit for that movie. And I think his career early on was great. I think he's devolved into shit now, I hate to say. Okay, to enter the residence without a warrant, I thought a probable cause overread. Yeah, here's what happens. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. Yeah, people, I guess people still listen to his show. Used to work in law enforcement. When Rayner was killed, the police said they had to get a warrant to go into the house. Now, as I understand, they don't have probable cause. Well, here's the thing. If someone reported that they had been down for hours and you walk in, they probably looked through the window or they walked in and just looked, they could see that they were both clearly dead, then you could back out and wait for a warrant just to keep everything. But in Florida, that would not be necessary. That's what we would call an exigent circumstance. I was in law enforcement down here for years. And that is definitely an exigent circumstance. When you pull up and you see blood through the window, that's an exigent circumstance. You can enter the home and make sure there's not someone bleeding to death inside. So I don't understand how that worked exactly, unless they were clearly dead and they backed out and decided to get a warrant. Maybe. But what would you need a warrant for? What would you need a warrant for if you go there and you look in and there's a murder and you go in and there's people in there that are murdered? I don't know what you need a warrant for. It's a crime scene. The moment a felony crime takes place, it becomes a crime scene, and you don't need a warrant to get on the property. So I'm not really sure what that's all about. It's, yeah, they don't call it that, but yeah, it's an emergency exception. It's an exigent circumstance. You arrive, it's a domestic violence call. Okay, you arrive, you knock on the door, no one comes to the door, right? But you can hear some guy beating some woman in the back bedroom. They can kick the door in, and they're usually okay because they were trying to save the woman's life. He was beating her ass, you could hear it. Where they get messed up sometimes is they end up kicking in the wrong door. They're at the wrong house, they're at the wrong apartment. They hear the yelling and they think it's coming from this apartment and they kick in the wrong door. That happens. But that's called an exigent circumstance. Technically, when a cop approaches your house, He's only allowed to exist in the curtilage of the home, which means he can be between the part where he parks his car on the road and he walks directly to your front door. That's curtilage. He could look in the windows on either side of the door as long as he can do it from your porch or from your step where your door is. They can look through the window in the door. But that's curtilage. Now, that would refer to if they're coming there to serve a warrant, or if they're coming there to talk to you, or they're coming there for da-da-da-da. Where it becomes sticky wicket is when someone calls and says, hey, that guy at the corner house is beating his old lady. I just watched him beat her up in the front yard and drag her back in the house by her hair. Okay? That's an exigent circumstance. So when the cop arrives, based on just that complaint alone, he could probably go beyond curtilage at that point and look through windows and see if the door's unlocked, maybe open the door and look inside. Here's the thing. I don't like cops snooping around, but I don't do anything wrong either. It's one of those things where it's just we don't need Big Brother snooping around. But I do believe in exigent circumstances because sometimes the cops are called there for a legitimate reason, and there's a woman in the back bleeding to death, and there's a guy at the front door saying, no, there's nothing wrong here. Nobody's fighting. So I understand exigent circumstances. I just think it needs to be used very sparingly, very carefully, and very purposefully, and not used in gray area and fudge points and shit like that. That makes sense. Okay, so what they did, they went in and they dealt with the bodies. They then got the search warrant for the son's bedroom and the home. The reason they did that is because his bedroom fell outside the immediate area where the bodies were, and you want to make sure you don't get any suppression hearings where you lose any of that evidence that you're going to find in his bedroom. You go in there, you might find a letter or find a social media post or find something in his bedroom that's gonna give you a direct piece of evidence on the crime, okay? And you'll lose it because you were snooping around the house before you got a warrant. I can understand that. That makes sense now because the kid lived in the house. We now want to preserve that entire property as evidence at that point. Get a warrant. And that way, because if you don't, they'll immediately move to suppress. They may not get it, but they will immediately move to suppress any evidence that was found based on the fact that they didn't have a search warrant. And then the cops are going to say, and the prosecutor's going to say, but wait a minute, we entered the home on exigent circumstances. Yes, correct. We saw blood, exigent circumstance, call came in, we went in, everything's cool. Why'd you go in the kid's bedroom? Well, we were just looking around to see if there was any more bodies, because we had to check the whole house. That's true. Why were you in his drawers? It makes sense to back out and get the search warrant. You walk the house, you make sure you have identified all of the bodies, you make sure that you've identified any living or dead people anywhere in the home, and then you back out, because at that point it's no longer an emergency. You back out, you get your search warrant for the crime of murder, then you go back in there and you seize everything as evidence, and now you've got that protected. That makes sense. I understand it now. Yes, hearsay in court, but it's not. Hearsay can be used to help establish exigent. It can be used. Hearsay can be used to help you establish exigent circumstances. Like, lady tells you, I watched him smack the shit out of her 5 times. Okay? And then you go over there and the guy won't let you in the house. You've probably got enough right there. Guy acting suspicious, not being cooperative. Neighbors swearing out an affidavit that she watched that guy beat her up. You've got your exigent circumstances. You can go in the house without a warrant. Okay? So hearsay can be used to justify. It can be used when you're looking for reasonable suspicion, but it cannot be used as necessarily the only probable cause that you have. But witness statements are allowed to be used as part of the case. But then again, if they don't show up in court, the witness statement's really no good. You can use the witness statement to establish probable cause, but then when the prosecutor calls the guy and says, hey, are you going to show up in court? We got court in a month. Are you going to show up? No, man, I'm not. I don't want nothing to do with that. Okay? Now it's hearsay because the guy's not going to come into court and say what he saw with his own eyes. So hearsay's okay to establish PC. It's okay to establish reasonable suspicion. But it is not okay in court. You have to bring the witness to court and make it firsthand. There's exceptions to that. Does anybody know what they are? Anybody know what? There's one big, huge exception to the hearsay rule. Does anybody know what it is? It's what they call a dying utterance. Okay? When someone is dying and they say, Bob Smith killed me. That's a dying utterance, and it's good as gold in court as long as the person dies or is in a coma, hopelessly dead, whatever. Yeah, that is a dying utterance. That's just like, you know, when you're there and the cops are there and it hasn't read you your rights yet, you know, they can still use things against you in court. It's only he can't ask you questions and then use the answers in court. If you sit there and say, my girlfriend did this and my girlfriend did that, and if he didn't ask you any questions, this is another thing cops do. They won't ask you any questions. They'll sit you there, okay? And you'll just start talking. And they'll look at you and shake their head and act interested, but they won't say a word. And they just let you talk. And he's got on his body cam. He never asked you any questions. Everything you say is a spontaneous utterance, and it's usable in court. Right off the body cam or even on a sworn affidavit from the cop, it's admissible in court. So, the right to remain silent only works if you remain silent. When you start running your mouth, they can use everything you say in court. Now, if he asks you, did you rob that bank? If he hasn't read you your rights, if you say yes, they can suppress that answer in court because you weren't read your rights. He shouldn't be asking you any questions about that crime. He can ask you your name and your date of birth. And that's the extent of what you are required to answer under law. And that's only if you have been lawfully arrested. So yeah, some interesting stuff there. There has been cases where people have wrote down who attacked them before they died. Admissible in court, people spending time in prison right now because of it. So yeah, it works. It's hairy and they fight it and it may not count, but anything you do in your dying moments to shine light on the crime of your own murder, okay, is completely admissible in court, generally speaking. So that's just an interesting fact. Neil Bortz, I like Neil. He's good. I haven't listened to him in a while, but he's good. He's not on our station down here, so I don't hear him much. Yeah. Well, of course, the neighbor could be making stuff up. That's always a possibility. I mean, people making shit up and lying tends to be the way things go a lot of the time. when I watch these First Amendment auditors, and I watch a lot of them, it's always surprising because they'll stand there in front of the bank on the sidewalk with a camera, just spinning around, taking pictures, not speaking to anybody, not saying anything. And they put the call, they get the call record, they put the call over the top of the audio so you can hear the people calling. And the people in the bank will call up and say, there's a guy outside, I think he's going to rob us. He's doing nothing but standing there with a camera on a tripod on the side of the road on a public sidewalk. And they'll call up and say, he's suspicious, he's harassing our customers, he's going up and he's holding his camera right up to the glass. None of that's true. No, it was all lies. People that call the cops nearly always exaggerate or lie. They taught us that in the police academy. Nearly every call we get will have inaccuracies and or exaggerations within the call. That call records, 911 call records that come out over the air, dispatch calls, should never be taken as valid. They should be taken as suggested. If they say there's a guy, they think he's got a gun, there might be a guy, he might have a gun. You can't take anything they say like that. There's one First Amendment audit where the guy did not have any guns at all. He just had a camera on a tripod in a bag, in a backpack. And he's standing there in front of a metalworks dealer walking down the side of the road. And the woman inside called the cops and said there's some guy with a gun out on the sidewalk. She called back 3 different times. She's yelling at the dispatcher that this guy's going to kill everybody. The cops ended up, I think, writing her a ticket at the end for filing a false police report. That's how bad it was. They pulled up. Luckily, they kept a cool head. This guy had to surrender everything and be searched and everything else, far beyond what they should have had to do. But based on the lies that woman told the dispatcher, I gave the cops a pass. Because, hey, she's saying the guy's walking in front of my business with a gun, waving a gun around. You got to take that serious, right? So it's one of them things. You have to. Every case has to be looked at objectively. Okay, so let's see. Let me switch my chat because I think it's stalled out again. Nope. Okay, all right, guys, I'm going to take my first break here. I'm going to take 5 minutes. I'll be right back. Listen, I'm going to play another version of this song. You guys let me know what you think. These are different versions of the my new ARRL song that I'm writing. I'm working on. I want to get you guys' input. So I'm going to take a break. I'm going to roll the commercials, listen to the music, let me know what you think, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth right here on Starship Adventures. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.
Largest ham club in the nation, that's the lie they sell. 15% by the pitch, the rest can't tell. You call, you write, you wait for months. Dead air answers from polished fronts. Bloated suits in carpeted rooms, living off dues and yesterday's fumes. They preach community, cash the checks, then vanish like ghosts when you ask what's next. National love, but nobody's home. 15% don't make the throne. Charge more, do less, smile and wave. Go straight to CEO. 360 grand for the man up top. Volunteer or just fucking stop. Half the money goes to salaries, while relevance dies of apathy. Hundreds employed doing what exactly besides printing ads and calling it legacy? New clubs, sorry, pay the toll. Long forms, big fees, bureaucratic hell. National art, but nobody's home. 15% don't make a throne. Charge more, do less, raise the dues, cut the magazine, still feed the suits. Volunteer my ass, read the books. This ship's run by crooks in cardigans and a pole. 30,000 licenses every year, 3,000 join then disappear. 600 stick it out till year 2. 600 more die, numbers don't lie to you. Membership goals surpassed, what a joke. Was losing members the goal you wrote. No target set, no plan, no spine, just glossy lies and declining lines. Captain says 49's a steal, says it's straight face, says it's real. While the deck is flooding, alarms all scream. He's steering proud toward the iceberg gleam. Still printing magazines like it's Reagan's turn. Ads on every page, info half firm. Now raise the dues, cut the print. Same old scam, different tint. $50 a month for ads and dust. No ID card, just please trust us. Living in the past, afraid of the net, social media ghost town, no regret. National art, but nobody's home. Still living like it's dial tone chrome. Can't stop the fees, can't save the bands. Didn't see the spectrum leave their hands. Volunteer my ass, it's crystal clear. This thing's been dead for 20 years. Used to fight for the hobby, fight for the air. Now hail winds, they just shrug and stare. License fees hit, they did nothing. 3 gigahertz gone, still bluffing. Why pay 59 a month for air? For nothing useful, nothing there. Just warm feelings and righteous shame. Pay up, or you don't love the game. National Lord, national joke. Living off loyalty, guilt and smoke. Charging more, giving less. Calling failure progress. Volunteer my ass, read the chart. This isn't leadership, it's falling apart.
All right, there you go. That's the that's my new satire song that I wrote about the ARRL using AI. I made it in about 30 minutes, and I made 4 different versions of it so far. I'm tweaking it. There's a few errors in there. It says $59 a month. Should be a year. I got to fix that. But very few errors in there. I think I want to work the whole name of the league in there somehow. I'm working on that too. But anyway, what do you guys think about that? Well, yeah, they make a decent frequency chart. Um, yeah, the color frequency chart's good, and they do update it every time we gain or lose bandwidth, which this month we gained bandwidth. The month before, I think we lost some. But yeah, they do keep it updated. Oh, yeah, there we go. I hope that worked. I hit the ad button about a minute in, so it would roll y'all's ads during the during that intermission there. All right, yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I like to write satire, and I'm working on different stuff right now. Yeah, I think so. It put the F-bomb in. I didn't. I'll probably work that back out. Yeah. You think Slayer? Oh my God, I don't know. I'll try it though. I'll try it. I'm gonna remix it a bunch of times till I get the exact one I like. And I've also got 2 sets of alternate lyrics I'm working on. That's only one. I started this the other day working on lyrics, and I've got 3 different sets of lyrics that I'm working on, and I think I'm actually a little happier with my second set. It's a little more direct, and so I'm going to try to work that. Heavy metal, I mean, I know that wasn't heavy metal, but that was pretty rocking, if you know what I mean. Mama, what's wrong, baby girl? You okay? Yeah, come here, baby girl. So anyway, yeah, I'll try some different variations of it, and I'm also working on some different ones. I've got a list of ideas of songs that I want to do. So after the ARRL album comes out, if you will, Trey Radel published his today. If you guys want to check it out, go to Spotify, Apple, iTunes, any of those, and just look up Trey Radel. It'll come up. There's only one album in the world with that name on it. And you can see his music. He's got 3 songs in there he wrote on AI. People are already downloading them. And he's going to be doing some targeting advertising for the area here, because everybody knows him, because he has the #1 talk radio show in the whole area here. And so it's pretty cool. It's neat. He talked about it a little bit on the air. He can't promote it on the air per se, but we can talk about what we're doing. Yeah, right now the music I'm writing for the show is in the spirit of Pink Floyd. I like that music. I'm sorry if it doesn't appeal to everybody, but Pink Floyd's music is timeless. It's amazing. I like the back album stuff like Shine On Crazy Diamonds and stuff like that. Wish You Were Here, one of my favorite songs. Like I said, that what do they call that? A crowd, I forget what a crowd mob, whatever that they did, where they sung Wish You Were Here, and everybody's holding up pictures of their family. Oh my God, that's an amazing video. But I love Pink Floyd, and I love Led Zeppelin too, and I'm going to be writing some things coming up. I want to write some things. I want to try, this is going to be crazy, I want to try to write a few songs in the spirit of Led Zeppelin's Kashmir, you know, with the Middle Eastern instruments and all that. I want to see if I can get it to do it. And then I also wanted to write a song in the spirit of Led Zeppelin No Quarter, which is a very different, spooky, strange back album song that I really, really like. Yeah, there you go. The customer service lyrics. Yeah. Well, if you're wanting to sell the music, yeah. You don't need it to use it on YouTube. But if you like, Trey bought that because he's selling the music as an album, as his own work. I'm not selling these songs. I'll give them to you if you want them. So because I'm not selling them and making direct money on them, I will be fine using them like I am. But because I actually research this, and it's when you repackage them and sell them as your own work, they would need to be licensed to you. And I believe you only have to pay the $30 for the 1 month that you make them. You don't have to keep paying that indefinitely. But that's what I understand. That's what they told me at work. I'm not doing the paid stuff because I'm only using it as like joke music and fun music on my website, on my YouTube channel. Yeah, that would be funny, Heath. But you and I both know I ain't up to that. I don't know how the hell I would even do that. Guys, I hope we don't lose our Kilauea camera. I'm just pointing that out for you guys that are watching. Our Kilauea camera is getting slammed right now. I'm hoping it's far enough away. It's just getting the steam or whatever. But well, Kevin, there is something on there. Just a few minutes ago, you could still see. That's the caldera up there on Kilauea, which is threatening to go off right now. And there's a lot of output, and that's why we've lost the view temporarily. We lost a camera last week. We actually watched the final moments of the camera as it went down. So yeah, that is live. But we'll keep an eye on it. I don't have anything else that has to be put up right this minute. Anyway, the ICE protests, that 3 stream you see there, those are coming from other social media, and then they're being placed here on YouTube like that. The other stuff over there is simply just rotating cameras, just showing Christmas stuff, trying to stay festive. I'll probably put some Christmas lights on the screen here somewhere before the week's out. I do get into the Christmas. I have to tell you, you love Christmas for 20 years, 18 years, and then you spend the rest of your life trying to love it like you used to. And I think if you have kids, you can kind of almost get back there. I never had kids, so I don't know. But my favorite thing in my life was those Christmases. My mom and dad made sure we always had stuff, and it was such a special time, and I was such into the Christmas lights. I was in the newspaper 4 or 5 years in a row, to my mother's chagrin. But I love Christmas. I love doing the whole Christmas thing. I love it. But as you get older, it comes and it goes, and you hardly notice it anymore. It's terrible. And I have no kids to celebrate it with or anything, so I don't know. It's kind of awkward. It kind of comes and it goes. I'll buy my mom a little something. She'll buy me a little something. That'll be the end of it. She's doing better. She's coming home next week, midweek. She'll be returning to her home. The shower guys are in there finishing up the shower this week. We ripped the shower out and moved it out into the room a little bit, up against the wall, and made a roll-through shower. There's no lip. Everything just kind of rolls into the middle. And it's got a 3-sided curtain, and so she can just wheel right up in there, transfer over to her cart, over to the shower chair, push the wheelchair out of the way, boom, she can take a shower. So we've been doing everything we can to set it up, and that also allows her to get to the toilet easier. You don't think about stuff like that when you build a house in 1969. But sometime in your life you get to the point where, man, that didn't work out too well the way we put that shower in there. But that's okay. But she'll be coming home. She'll be able to be home for Christmas. That's amazing. She's coming home, like I said, on the 23rd, so that 2 days before Christmas. Her family's all going to be there for Christmas. It's going to be a big Christmas for her this year. They've already got the tree up. She went over and decorated the tree, and we brought her back. She made it over for Thanksgiving. We brought her back. I go up every other day and take her to lunch. I load her up in the car. We go to lunch. We walk the mall. We do whatever, and then I take her back. I'm trying to keep her from going crazy in that place. So I don't do the whole Christmas shopping thing. I don't buy shit for anybody. I tell my coworkers, don't. I don't buy gifts. Please don't buy me anything and make me feel guilty. And we don't do gift exchanges. None of us want to do it. It's fine. None of us in radio. We all work in small little pockets, and none of us want to deal with it. My other side of my family, I don't buy them nothing. They don't buy me nothing. I kind of like it that way. And then it's my mom, and in January I'm taking her up to the cabin for a week. As soon as she gets a little more used to doing things on her own and stuff, as soon as she's ready and she tells me, I'm going to schedule it and I'm going to take her up there, and then her and I can do our Christmas up there. She's got all her decorations up there and everything. So anyway, you know what? I just my hat's off to therapy people. You don't think about it much. She's been in 3 different facilities. They've all provided pretty good or good care. But in all 3 places, the shining star was the therapy people. They are just the nicest people in the building. In all 3 facilities, they were the nicest people in the building. They really care about my mom. They know her. They know her case. They show up. They know that she's got a cabin in the mountains. I mean, I listen to them. If I get there early, I walk right back to physical therapy and I go sit in there. They bring up a chair and sit me right next to her while she's doing her physical therapy. And we sit there and we talk and we laugh, and yeah, mom's coming home for Christmas. Yep. Yeah. Look, we walk a lot of malls. Her and I have not bought anything in a mall in years. We walk the mall all the time, and I'm thankful that it's there. Although the one in Sebring is just about to go out of business, about 30% occupancy. The one in Port Charlotte has about 60% occupancy, about 60 maybe. And the Edison Mall here in Lee County has about 92%, 95. So it's doing okay. It is actually in a survival phase right now where it might last a while longer. The Collier Mall, the Naples Mall, Naples Town Center, doing okay, about 90%. Looks like it's still in a survival phase right now. But the Port Charlotte Town Center is faltering, and the Sebring, the Lakeshore Mall in Sebring, which is another great little mall. I just love that little mall, but it's dying. It has a whole wing that has nothing. We still walk it because we're just walking, but there's nothing down there. You get to the very end, there's a dental office or something down there, but there's nothing left on this whole wing. So yeah, it kind of sucks. We're losing our malls, and I don't know how to feel about it because I don't shop at them. I wouldn't buy nothing in there. I walk in there and I look at these shirts and I'm like, oh, that's a nice because I buy nice collared shirts for work. I get these at Walmart for $10. I go in the mall, I see a nice shirt for $30, $40. I've got $10 Walmart shirts that are 10 years old. They're one of my 40 work shirts that I rotate. I still wear them. I wash them a couple times a month. Whenever I wear them, I wash them, put them back on the thing, and I run through them. I buy almost all Walmart clothes, cheapest clothes I can buy, and I have great luck with them. I would never buy clothes in the mall. It's ridiculously expensive. So that's just my thing. But I feel bad about losing our malls. We will eventually lose it all. At least all the malls. I mean, I think there'll always be some form of retail out there. I think Walmart's going to be around another 20 years. But even that eventually will come to an end, because all your stuff will be delivered in some other fashion. Drones, whatever, molecular energy transport. Look, with AI, we could be beaming food to one another here in another 15 years. I don't know what's coming. AI is advancing us so fast. You guys realize that with AI, I don't know about me. I'm 56. I'm probably a goner. But for you guys that are 20 years old, 30 years old, I know I got a few people in my chat room right now that are 20, 30 years old. You may live to 200. You may live to 200. They say the first human to live to be 200 is already alive. What do you think about that? Someone on this earth already is going to live 200 years. Right now, 110 is ancient. Very few people even live to be 100. Years ago, it was the same was said about 80. I can remember when 80 was like the end of the road. Nobody talked about more than 80. Today, people live to be 100. Now, medical technology, medical knowledge, medical breakthroughs, medicine itself is going to see exponential growth. Instead of on a yearly or a decade basis, we're going to see it on a monthly basis. We're going to see cures for things coming out. We're going to see ways to deal with things like diabetes. We're going to see ways to deal with things like strokes. You know something they're doing now? This is something we haven't talked about yet. AI is being used to read x-rays. And what they're doing is they're having all the doctors in this hospital, they're radiology people, when they take an image of your leg or of your gut where you're hurting or your breast because there's a lump, when they take that image, that goes to the radiology department, and specialists there look at those prints and decide, hey, this needs to be looked at, this needs to be biopsied, this needs to go back to the doctor because it's a little iffy. Once that happens, that's a life or death for you. If they miss something and your next check, let's say you go 2 years before your next check, it may be too late if you're a high risk or whatever. So let's think about this for a minute. They started using AI on the x-rays. Now, does that mean they're not checking it with a human? No. Humans are still checking them. I think eventually we'll get to the point where the computer's just doing so much better that we'll just have 10 different computers do it. How could we have a mistake? See, that's what a lot of people don't realize with computers. With AI, you can have AIs watching AIs. And then an AI watching that one. And then a human watching that. The way it works basically is these AIs can see much deeper into these images, and they can draw patterns and conclusions in different, more comprehensive ways than we can. So when they look at that, they're finding it. So what they did was they started running all these x-rays past the radiologists. They all looked at them. And then they, without letting the machine know what the radiologist said, they passed it into the machine, and they let the machine decide whether it saw something. And the machine was finding cancers that the humans missed. It's that simple. Doesn't mean that anybody's bad or anything. It just simply means that a computer can do anything we can do better. And now it's starting to do things like figure and reason and even self-protect and things like that. We're reaching a point where It's getting scary, and I understand it, but you have to also look at, we're getting to a point where this thing's going to cure freaking cancer. We're getting to the point where it's actually going to be able to cure ailments. And let's say you're one of these people that has to take insulin with a shot twice a day. That sucks. They're already working on this. We're going to figure this out. The stuff that God bless, the stuff that they're talking about with AI, they're building data centers as fast as they can build them. They're building power plants as fast as they can build them. Trump's opening up nuclear so we can get more nuclear plants. We need to fire up some large-ass nuclear plants up in the desert so that we can power this AI, which is the future. The AI that's going to cure all of our ails and hopefully not rise up and kill everybody, at least till I'm gone. But the point is, it's going to happen whether we like it or not. So if you cower from it, if you decide not to use it, if you decide it's not for you, you are hurting yourself. Because AI is the future of everything. Whether you're writing a letter to your doctor or you're putting on a YouTube show like this, AI can be the best thing you've ever run into. I've wrote letters and gotten raises with it. But let me tell you something. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It writes lyrics. It'll write in styles. I can have it write my next blog post in the style of Abraham Lincoln. And it will do it. I can have it write it in the style of Jesus Christ. And it will do it. It's amazing. AI will do almost anything. And we're talking about literally the future of everything right here. Just amazing. One thing I haven't heard, I want to get AI working on better antenna systems for ham radio operators. I do. I bet you that AI, if put to the task properly, could come up with a design for an antenna that would be more efficient, lighter, and easier to deploy and make and build and cheaper to build than what we're using now. I know you think, how could that be? We've done everything there could possibly be. No, we haven't. This thing thinks outside the box at 1,000,000 times the speed that you think outside the box. That's way outside the box. Yeah, the whole people body frozen thing, I don't know. I want to ask you a question. Do you believe in the soul? Now, whether you believe in reincarnation or not, I don't care. I'm a reincarnationist. I believe that we visit here over and over, and eventually we become old souls and we move on to heaven. I do believe that. Okay? Do you believe we have a soul? If we have a soul, those people that got their body frozen, because, you know, they find them in Next Generation in the first season. Those people that got their body frozen, my question is the soul still in there? Because there's no energy output from the body. Okay? Now I want you to think about this. We hook electrodes up to our brain. We see the energy. When a person dies, that energy quickly dissipates. These frozen people would appear dead to any equipment that we have that reads the energy inside your noggin. Okay? So, if we put the thing on there and there's no energy in that frozen brain, then we must assume that the soul is not in there, because the soul is in there. Now, some may argue that the soul goes beyond any kind of detection by our equipment, yada, yada. Okay, whatever. I don't necessarily buy that. I hate to say it because of some of the things the Nazis did. But the point is I think those people that froze their bodies have caused themselves one of two terrible outcomes. Number one, their soul moved on, and they've either reincarnated or they're with Jesus and with God, whichever. Both are acceptable beliefs, in my opinion. If that's the case, then he's dead. There's no miracle in the future that would bring him back. You might be able to reanimate the body to some degree, but I think the personality, I think the essence of what the person was would be completely lost, no matter how well you were able to put the physical structure back together again. You'd basically have a computer without a hard drive. It would just sit there. I mean, I don't know. I stuff like this bothers me. Is there a soul inside a frozen person? Is the soul truly something we can't measure? Did that idiot that froze himself, is he sitting there in purgatory now, waiting for someone to thaw his ass out so he can ascend? This is scary a little bit. I mean, I would not freeze myself. I would rather just die, because that's the way God wanted it. And I think that might work best. I don't know. I don't want to die. I'm just saying, you know, if I'm going to die anyway, and you say, look, 10 minutes before you die, we can freeze your body. No, I think I'm good. I'll just let the hospice folks take care of me. The Soul Train, I love it. They could be Frankensteins. They could be a body and a working brain, but without the soul, I don't know what you would have. Would you have consciousness? Would you have self-awareness? Therefore, I don't think you would have sentience. I don't think it would be sentient. People that are solid frozen have never been revived. Now, there is fish that can be frozen and thawed, and they swim again. They go and they do their thing. But those are fish. And they were born in an area where they freeze every year, and that's why that's part of their life cycle. God made them that way. God did not make us that way. And even our Eskimos can't freeze in the winter and thaw in the spring. So I don't understand, really, if you think about it, the whole freezing the body thing. Now, a lot of these people that freeze their bodies, they're probably afraid of death. They're probably atheists, and they think the end is truly the end. And this is a last-ditch effort to escape the Grim Reaper, because they don't believe in Jesus or God. They don't believe in the afterlife, and they don't believe in reincarnation. And if you don't believe in any of those things, I guess it's a pretty effing sad existence there, isn't it? I never understand people that just don't believe in nothing. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in UFOs. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in it. It's like, Jesus, do you believe in filling up your car with gas? I mean, holy shit. Some people need to quit being such a pessimistic prick and start opening your eyes and have an open mind and start looking at things. My God, there's intelligences out there that we can't explain. There's spacecraft out there that we can't explain. There's and our own deaths elude us on how it works. Yeah, Kevin, but I would hate to think that I'm just going to lay there for the next 50 years, living some kind of existence, my soul stuck in this frozen husk, waiting for medical technology to catch up so that they can revive me, and there might be some miracle where I could live again. Or should I pass on? I mean, I believe in an afterlife 100%. So which one I don't know, and I don't care. I'm happy with both. So I'm good, and I do a lot of good and very little bad, and I feel very good about my chances. But here, let me tell you something. I just want to. I would rather pass on and make sure I don't screw that up, because I think that part of life is dying, and I think if we cheat that too hard, I think there's negative consequences. I don't know. All right. I've heard some of the ball players had their heads frozen. What's up with that? You get that's where the whole thing on what was that? Oh, Futurama. Remember how they always had the jars with the heads in them? That was why they were like that, because they were frozen heads. And they had Leonard Nimoy, and of course he didn't really have his head frozen, but that's how they ended up with all the heads of all those people, because they reanimated all the frozen heads. Yeah, I don't know about Ted Williams. I know there's somebody did, but I don't remember the name. Yeah, I don't know. Some people are very scared of death. I am apprehensive about it, okay? But I don't like sit here at night worrying about it. I don't know. I do believe in a divine power. I do. And I believe that I'm going to get to come back and do this again. It may be a different planet, maybe a different solar system, maybe a different time, a different place, maybe a different base element other than carbon. But whatever, I'll get to live again. Or maybe just my spirit will live on. But I know I live on. Brings me back to one of my favorite songs, The Highwaymen. Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson. Four of my favorite guys. They sing a song called, and I can't play it on here, I'll get in trouble, but they sing a song called Highwaymen. And it's a song about how each of them die in their chosen profession, but yet they live on, and they're still here today. One of them was a dam builder, and he fell into the wet concrete below, and he died in that silent tomb. And then the next one was hung by the government for robbing stagecoaches. But he's still alive. I'm here today. And I think that's what I like about that. Other than I really like those four men. What I love about that song, and if you guys haven't listened to it in a while, go back and listen to it. And this time, listen to the words and think about, it's a song about reincarnation. It's a song about the afterlife. It's a song about four men, and they, basically, well, three of them anyway, die. The third one was a sailor, and he went up to unfurl the mains, and it broke off, and he died. He went into the water and died during the storm, and that's how he died in the song. But yet he is still alive. That's the whole purpose of the song, is to tell you, no matter how you die, you live on. Yep, that's a good one too. Spirit in the Sky. Yeah. Johnny Cash had some dark ass music, but he was great. He's a piece of Americana. He truly is, and I don't say that about too many people. General Patton believed in reincarnation. Many people believe in reincarnation, and let me tell you something. Believing in reincarnation does not mean you're any more or less of a Christian either. Okay? So you can believe in Christ and believe in reincarnation, and it works, okay? In my opinion. It's my opinion. Hey, Simplex, what's up, buddy? Hey, Dom. Yep, I agree with you on that. General Patton. Yep. Let's see here. Who else we got? Hey, Eyes to See. We got... Yes, Dom, that's true. Scotty, what he did was he put the transporter in a diagnostic feedback loop. And what it would do is, in test mode, it would feed the dematerialized image or energy into a test mode and then back into the transporter again. And so as long as there was power to power the transporter, then his pattern would be in the feedback loop going back and forth between the tester and the transporter. And then when they saw that going on, they stopped the process and rematerialized the person. It was a neat way to retcon Scotty into the next generation. That episode was called Relics. What a great episode. The scene on the Constitution class bridge between Patrick Stewart and Jimmy Doohan is forever one of my favorite scenes. The episode itself was pretty good. There's a glaring issue with the episode that I can't quite get past it. They beam them off the Janolan and then they blow the Janolan up, all while the shields are up. The Janolan shields are holding the door open for the Enterprise, okay? It's the wedge in the door. The ship certainly can't hold it open, but the shields can. So they're using the warp core from the Janolan to power the shield bubble to keep the door open. And it's holding the door open, right? Here comes the Enterprise. It's got to clear the door. The Janolan shield bubble's barely big enough to get the Enterprise through. So the moment that the Janolan blows up, the doors start to close. The Enterprise has to go really quick. So the guys have to stay on the Janolan, right? So all of a sudden, he's like, beam them aboard. They beam them aboard. The Janolan shields are still up. They have to be up because they're holding the door open. Then they fire, and you can still see the shields. Then they fire the torpedoes. Now, it's logical to assume that several torpedoes from a Galaxy-class starship is obviously going to destroy an assembled shield bubble on a transport craft that's 73 years old. So, I'm okay with the torpedoes destroying the Janolan. I'm not okay with them beaming two people through an assembled shield bubble. It doesn't work that way. So anyway, that's the only retcon in that whole show that I didn't like. That was the only oh, that doesn't work. Who wrote this shit? Everything else was great. I love the episode. I'm kind of kidding because I really love the episode. The Dyson Sphere, probably one of the neatest things in that episode was the actual thing that the Janolan crashed into. They were on the way to the Norpern colony so that Scotty could retire. He had a place there and a boat, and he was going to go live on the Norpern colony, which is basically the Federation's nursing home, I guess. And on his way, the Janolan picks up a strange gravitational field. So it veers off course, and it comes out of warp right near this gravitational distortion. The gravitational distortion happens to be a Dyson sphere. What a Dyson sphere is the astronomer Dyson at one time postulated that we could take and build a ground structure completely around a small star. And we would build it at the distance of the Goldilocks zone. So in other words, the star would be in the middle of this complete sphere. And every piece of energy that comes out of that star would be gathered up. You could have billions and billions and billions of square miles of crops, and they get sunlight 24/7. And you would build it so that everything inside would be getting the perfect amount of energy 24/7. Would never see darkness. It would never da-da-da-da-da. And it's called a Dyson sphere. But when the Janolan dropped out of warp, right that close to that large gravity well, it was sucked in and crashed into the Janolan, into the Dyson sphere. So now the Janolan's crashed. Scotty has to put himself in the transporter beam. That's what happens. The other kid that he went in there with died. That I don't know why they didn't just let him live. let him come out and be part of the story, whatever. Okay. So anyway, at the end, they bring some equipment over from the Enterprise, which allows them to get the Janolan back in service. And so they have to go find what happened to the Enterprise. Well, the Enterprise got dragged into the Dyson Sphere. So they had to go hold the door open, and that whole thing I just told you about. Great episode. Great episode. I think it's a great one. The special effects were pretty good for the time. Remember, shot in the 90s. All the Next Generation was either 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, and 45. So in that time period, that was pretty good. The special effects were pretty good. When they come inside the sphere and you can see it's like a world inside. It's really cool. The Johnny Cash movie, Walk the Line. I watched that a long time ago. I remember it being good. Yeah. So anyway, that's our Star Trek for tonight. We just got that out of the way. But yeah, very good episode. Remember, there's only a couple of the original series people that made it back into Next Generation, and that was Jimmy Doohan came back, and also Spock came back in the two-part episode called Reunification, and that's where he was on Romulus, and Picard had to borrow a Klingon ship and go find Spock to let him know that his father Sarek had died, and we got to see Sarek just before his death. Mark Leonard, who played Sarek, was great. He was great. He also played the Romulan commander in Balance of Terror, another top 10 episode of mine. And he played his father in Journey to Babel, in the original series Journey to Babel, which was another great episode. Had a space battle in it. Kirk got into a knife fight with an Andorian. I mean, actually, he wasn't an Andorian. He was an imposter Andorian. I don't want to disparage the Andorians. All right. So what else is going on, guys? Give me something to talk about. I'm going to go and check space weather here real quick. Let's see what we got. There is a hole in the sun's atmosphere right now, and it's facing Earth. It's spewing a stream of solar wind in our direction. So on December 18th, in a couple days, we're going to get a G1 solar storm out of it, but no big deal. It'll be a minor solar storm. Now, there's been some non-gravitational acceleration that's been seen on the AI3, the 3I Atlas, whatever you want to call it. This interstellar object, let's just call it that. The scientists were very quick to point out that this was not anything but a natural phenomenon. Have you ever wondered why scientists always are shitting on everything? Have you ever wondered that? It's almost like, hi, I'm a scientist. Let me shit on whatever you're talking about. Dom, I agree with you. I agree with you. They rely on the special effects way too much now. And I agree with you. In the original series, the fact that they couldn't make a lot of the special effects or it was too expensive encumbered the plot. Nowadays, the fact that they rely so heavily on special effects and not as much on good writing encumbers the plot. You're correct. Those four shows had a great blend of ability and money to spend on special effects, but not overdoing it. They still had great writing and great acting and great sets. You can't do it without all four of those. Science fiction is number one, Writing. If you don't have good writing, forget it. Writing, number one. Okay? Acting, number two. Sets. It all has to fall together like that. And you have to have it all, come together. And then, of course, the fourth thing is special effects. And you don't want to overdo the special effects. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. Hobby Steve, what's up, buddy? Opinion on pay-to-play repeaters. I'll have nothing to do with them. But I'm not going to slander someone that does. If you want to, it's pay and play. If you want to play, go pay. I won't. I don't want nothing to do with it. Look, if I want to hear dead air, I got 50 repeaters around here that are dead air 24/7. I don't know. Are we paying money because someone's actually talking on it? Or am I just accessing another dead repeater? Yeah, I thought that especially Deep Space Nine and Voyager, it all came together really good. Most people are TNG fans, and I get it, but I'm a Deep Space Nine Voyager guy. I actually like those two better than TNG, and I actually like Enterprise a lot more than some people do. I'm a big Scott Bakula fan. And I like Trip Tucker. I just like the character, and I like that show. I don't know. It was a good show too. I liked it because it showed the first Enterprise on the first deep space mission, and you got to go back 75 more years and see what happened. But yeah, it was also good. Yeah, pay-to-play repeaters. What's up with that? Look, repeaters aren't that much to put up. Joseph's got a 100-foot tower right here on the side of our house. And we've got repeater equipment. I got 4 different repeaters here. We've got a Hytera out there. We've got these ones in here. I got another one in the living room in there. I got repeaters coming out of my ass. People are giving the old ones away at this point. So I don't know what they're charging for. Is it a network? I mean, it can't be on GMRS. They're shutting all those multi-station networks down on GMRS, so it has to be ham. Is it even legal to do pay-for-play on ham? Hobby, I don't know. It hasn't been a real issue that I've dealt with. I'd like to know more. Maybe it's something I'll do a show on. By the way, since we mentioned doing shows, I have got the editor going again. I've got my new opener all set up with the new music and everything, and I've started punching out videos. Once I start doing this, every day when I get up, I come out here and I knock out a video. I knocked out yesterday, I did the Atlanta Ham Fest, and I released it. And what I mean by that is I took the original live, which you can still go watch the original live, but I took the original live and I downloaded it, and I cut out all the bullshit where it wasn't working. I cut out me testing stuff. I cut out me talking to people in the chat room, and I cut it down to just basically the tour. And it's like 7 or 8 minutes long. And it's got the opener and the closer and all the information about the venue and everything. I did that for Atlanta, and I did it for Tampa, for Plant City, and those are out. You can see those. You can go. Please watch them. Please leave them running when you go to bed tonight. Remember, how many minutes you watch is the most important thing. So, yeah. But I do have those. Oh, that's cool, Hobby. I appreciate that. The Atlanta one, the resolution is disgusting, but there was nothing else could be done. I'll tell you what. I want you guys to notice something in those videos. I've been using Adobe Voice Enhancer And what it does, it goes through and it pulls out all the background sound. It leaves about 10% of the background sound in, and it AI enhances my voice. And it looks mostly for just my voice. And so when I go in, or my voice, or a predominant voice, I should say. So I went in and I processed both of those videos. So when you listen to them, you hear me loud and clear, and you don't hear all the other bullshit. I was very surprised how it came out. And now I just did another one. I did Helen, my walk through Helen. It's long. It's like I took 2 hours of live. It was like an hour and a half of live, and I cut it down to about 40 minutes of actual tour. And then I put website names and all the stuff and information, and that one, I made a bunch of acoustical music to go under it. No, there's no voice. It's just acoustical music. It's all like Pink Floyd-ish kind of stuff. And that whole video has like low music way in the background, and it's really cool. It's a great video. That gets released tomorrow morning. So you guys will be able to see that tomorrow. And then now, Dom, it's a ham radio, correct? And we're talking ham frequencies? Because I don't know how legal that is. I mean, I didn't think that you could restrict the usage of any of the frequencies like that. I mean, a repeater owner can always shut his repeater down, but that's really the only control he has. The frequencies, if no one else is using them, then you can use the repeater. There's no like, I don't know. That's weird. I don't know. I'm wondering if there's a lot of people on them, because we don't have nobody talks on our repeaters down here much at all. We've got 20 repeaters in Lee County. I think a total of about 20 ham radio repeaters. And I'll scan them for days. I hear the nets. There's a net about 5 nights a week. There'll be some kind of net going on somewhere. All right, guys, I'm going to go in about 15 or 20 minutes. Go ahead and put anything else in that you want me to discuss, and I'll do it. If you want to read more about the non-gravitational acceleration of the 3I Atlas interstellar object, you'll find that at spaceweather.com. That's spaceweather.com. Yes, if you're watching on a phone, you can hype my video. You're only able to hype so many of them a day. But if you do hype it, it actually does count, and it means something. It's important, because you're only allowed a few of them a day. So who you give those to becomes important. Unfortunately, I don't think it's migrated over to the web pages for any of the browsers yet, but it is on the app. So if you see it in the app there, hit it. That's weird, Dom. I'm gonna look those up. I put that in my show notes. That's very cool. The GMRS repeater in Dallas. Yeah, I like GMRS. I think people thought GMRS was going to ruin ham radio. It actually gets more people interested in radio, and then they want to become hams because they want to do more. I don't think it's detrimental at all. And I also think it's a great way that you and your family can use all that radio equipment that you've bought legally. All this time, ham radio guys have 40 radios, and it's against the law to hand one to your wife and have her run down to the store. Ridiculous. It's just stupid. So with GMRS, you can hand her your radio and she can go to the store. It's not a problem. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so it doesn't work on lives. You have to go back and watch it. So if you guys are on your phone and you go back and watch any of my stuff, make sure you hit that hype button. Yeah, paddle faster. Yeah, the scientists were very quick to shit on the whole thing. They're saying that it's caused by the off-gassing, that the subluxation and off-gassing and all that good stuff. They love those words, don't they? And they're all normal and not sad. That's awesome. That's awesome. When I end the show here in about 10 or 15 minutes, I'm going to play another version of my ARRL song. Maybe I should send it to them and see if maybe they want to use it. I think it's cool. I'm gonna, as long as I can make this music like this for free, I'm gonna make up free music all the time. This is a lot of fun, and you guys can just, it gives you great music to listen to. And you know, when I get done with the show at night, something else I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play about 10 minutes of music before I sign it off, and that way you guys can finish talking. A lot of times there's conversations going on, and I say goodnight and shut you guys off, and I'm not gonna do that anymore. Hey, no problem, Victor. I love doing it. You know, I do love what I do here. That's why I've kind of chose this to do as my thing that I want to do the rest of my life. It's outgassing. Yep. Yep, outgassing or off-gassing. That's the term they use. It's basically subluxation happens when there's a heating of the surface and a reduction in the size of the object, and it pushes out all the gas or vapor. A lot of it's vapor, a lot of it's gas, a lot of it is other materials, and it all gets spewed out. When it does get spewed out one of these holes, it acts like a small thruster. And so you'll have all these little thrusters shooting in different directions. Well, once the comet gets past the sun and it's exiting, the sun is having most of the effect on the back of the comet. And this will tend to lead to the off-gassing centering mostly around the aft portion of the comet, which means that you're going to get a thruster effect, and you will get a non-gravitational acceleration noted by spacecraft and other spacecraft and other devices that are monitoring. Okay, my God, I'll get all this out eventually. I don't know how I can say all this without screwing it up even more than I do. Really, that's interesting. I haven't heard anything about that. All right, and again, the protests, I see a live shot of the ice facility, which is boarded up, and that's it. I don't see anything else. No big protests. All there is 5 YouTubers covering the location where a protest would be if there actually was a protest. But the coverage is great. All right, so there you go, and we're seeing there Rockefeller Center starting to clear out now as the evening goes on, and a rotating Christmas cams in Boyette Park. Just a couple of skaters left out there, some late skaters, and we're watching some weather coming into Oregon here, where we actually have a thunderstorm advisory for tonight, and we also have a flood watch and some different things here for areas including Vancouver, Victoria, Seattle, Olympia, and then stretching down through Portland, Salem, Eugene, and even into Northern California, into Eureka and Redding. So this is all this is coming on shore from the Pacific, and it's going to be continuing for a while. That's why these flood watches are up overnight. Yeah, the GMRS stuff's coming along. I bought that Motorola, and it's got the 16 GMRS channels in it. But the problem is that don't do you any good, because all the repeaters, you have to have the pair, and you have to have the PL tone and all that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to be doing is reprogramming that with specific repeaters in GMRS, as well as specific repeaters in the ham band as well. I'm going to put in there NI4CE, the Florida statewide SARNet system, and several other UHF repeaters from in town here. Okay, alien farts. Yes. Yes, that's what it is. It's alien farts, off-gassing. Oh, good, Hobby. Do you like it? I love it. I have found 2 more radios since then that I like just as much. But yeah, the UV25 is one of my favorite radios still. I only would buy that one if you want a really, really big radio. The UV32, I bought the UV32 about 2 weeks ago. Got it home. I love it. It's the public safety version of the Bofang. Really, really love it. They make a digital version and an analog version. It's really cool. But my new radio, look at this, man. This is my Radtel. One of you guys suggested it. I don't remember who. Let me know if it was you. Somebody said they got one of these and it's their go-to radio. And so it's my go-to radio. Look at that screen, man. Look at that. You got the meter on there. You got the frequency. You got the name. And by the way, the name can have up to like 12 or 14 characters. And the channel number. It triple watches. And you see the name, the frequency, and the number for all 3 channels. On the Bofang, you either got the channel number, the frequency number, or the name. That's it. Some of them would give you 2. This one gives you all 3 pieces of information for all 3 channels, and you can see which one's active. It changes color. This radio, I put the little antenna on because this last weekend when I went to the Ham Fest, everything I was doing was either local or it was on UHF. I bought this antenna at the Ham Fest for $3. I bought another one too. It's kind of like it. This is an Abri. And this is a really good antenna. It does not perform well on VHF, but it performs just as good as the long antenna on UHF. So it works great. At 8 watts on UHF, this little antenna here gave me all the coverage I needed over the weekend for both the Ham Fest and back at the community. Now, some really cool things about this. I'm going to be doing a review on this radio. Joseph and I are playing with it, doing stuff with it. We're going to be testing some more of the HF stuff with it in the coming weeks. There's some really cool things. This does HF. It does sideband. It receives from like 6 megahertz all the way up to 1,000 megahertz. It's crazy what it does. And all the UHF VHF uses this antenna. The HF uses that antenna. It actually has a separate antenna hidden under this fake button, fake knob. It has a separate SMA, and they sell a mag loop that you can put right on top of it for using it with sideband. I've never seen a radio do what this radio does. It does crossband repeat. It does triple watch. You can, your friend has a radio. You don't know what frequency it is. You hit a button on here. He keys it up, and it gives you the frequency and the PL tone. You hit one button, and it sets it in. That's how easy it is to hook your radio up to your buddy's radio. And it doesn't even matter what band he's on, what kind of radio it is. If it's anything this radio has in it, which is most everything, it'll tell you what frequency it is, what CTCSS code it's using, whatever. And it comes right up. Yeah, the 950 Pro is a lot bigger than this one. I probably will be getting one of those soon, only because I'm falling in love with the Radtel. I didn't even know about this radio. I've seen them, and I'm like, oh, a Radtel. I figured it was just any other Chinese radio. But I got to tell you something. This is my walk-around radio now. I carry this. My poor 32 was my walk-around radio for about 5 days, and then this one came in the mail. Kind of sucks. But because I love that radio too, very rugged, very big radio, works very well. But this Radtel 880 that I got, they're $60, I think $62, something like that. And they come with the regular antenna, but you can buy short ones, you can buy tacticals, you can buy longer ones that are, little hamstick ones that are real thin. They work really well. So there's a lot of different things you can put on here. They make this version that also, I think this one does it. It has GPS. It also has a spectroscope. You can analyze different frequencies and things with it as well. It has programmable buttons on the side. You decide what the buttons do. Each button has a choice of a bunch of different things that it can be assigned to do. So I'm looking forward to reviewing this radio because no, I don't want the mini. I don't like small radios. I like big radios. That's why I'm a UV25, UV32 fan. This is as small a radio as I ever want. I don't like little radios. I carried big Motorola STX and Motorola HT1000s and MT1000s. That's what I carried for 20 years in public safety. And I like a big radio. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. When it comes to radios, I just love them. And so that's what you got there. The battery lasts a long time. Comes with a rocker charger. Also, you can charge it directly in the side. That's also the programming port. You don't have to plug into the mic thing for the programming port. It programs right through the USB. Regular USB programs it. Regular USB charges it. You can't beat it. The clip, I'm not going to sit here and go on and on about this radio, but this is the best belt clip I've ever had. It's very difficult to push it. But that sumbitch won't let go. I have not dropped this radio yet. When I clip it on my belt, that sumbitch stays right on my belt. It is a very long clip, so your entire belt goes inside and it clips it in. Just an absolute amazing radio. That's the Radtel 880. The only drawback to this radio, and there is a drawback, you cannot program it with chirp. You have to download the program that comes with it. Now, does that mean we'll never be able to program with chirp? No, I would say within a year you'll be able to program it with chirp. Chirp is a voluntary thing. It's an open source thing, and someone will write the program for it eventually and upload it to chirp. Chirp will make it available to all of us on the next version, and then we will have the ability to program this. The reason it's such a big deal to me is because here's the thing. This program, you can't copy and paste anything. It all has to be manually inputted, field by field by field. I've only got 15 channels in this thing right now. I literally just programmed what I needed for up in Tampa and what I needed for here just for the next few weeks into here, and I went with it because I didn't want to have to deal with it. But I have 1,000 channels in all of my radios, and this holds over 1,000 channels. I want this to have my full program, so I can't wait till the damn chirp thing works. Also, the program that comes with it, I would suggest downloading it anyway, even if chirp does eventually work. I would download the program anyway because that program allows you to do a lot of things. I believe you can widen restrictions and things like that. You can also go in and set a lot of things in the programming there that chirp would not really have for you necessarily. So you're probably going to want to have that original software anyway. It's called CPS or something. Just look it up, programming software for Radtel 880, and it will tell you. That is rough software because you don't put the offset. You have to put both frequencies and stuff like that. It's a bit of a challenge, but I just program mine to get me by because I want to use it, and eventually it'll have all of it. I don't know, Junior. I don't know. I will if I have to, can I be honest? In all of my years, I've updated firmware 4 times, and 3 times I bricked. So I no longer update firmware. I have not updated firmware on a single radio in my entire shack, a single computer, a single anything. I don't update my Windows 10, Windows 11. I don't apply ever any updates to anything. I don't do any updates to the apps in my phone. I don't do any update to my phone. I disable Android updates in my phone. I hate updates. And so, generally speaking, unless I have to apply an update to get something to work, I don't do any updates. That includes firmware, Windows, manufacturer, apps, Play Store. I don't do any of them. Every now and then, I'll get a warning. Hey, you have to update the app, like Domino's Pizza or whatever. It'll be like, your app's too old. Okay, so I go in and manually update that one app. But that's really about all I do. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know about the whole firmware thing. I've had bad luck doing firmware updates, and so I'm always very leery about any update that I don't absolutely necessarily have to have. I'm right now running an 8-year-old version of Windows 10 that has never had any updates applied, and I'm running that Pro version right now on 8 different systems. And Windows tried to scare me all this time. We're not updating anymore. You can't use Windows 10 no more because you're out of update. You're not going to... Dude, I haven't updated. This is the original Windows from 7 or 8 years ago. I've never updated it. I've never applied an update. I've never updated my browsers. I use standalone. All of my browsers and almost all of my programs are from portable apps. And I get older ones. I don't like the new Opera. I got 3 versions ago. I don't like the new Chrome. I got 2 versions ago. It's not as slow. And I do everything using portable apps because I don't like to install things. I just like to have them there, and then I go to them and I use them. So I'm kind of weird when it comes to computers. Do I suggest that everybody do what I do? No. If you're not tech savvy, I suggest you keep your computer updated. I don't, because I broadcast with mine. Windows Update took 9 radio stations off the air about 7 years ago, not long after we went to Windows 10. And ever since then, our station and myself, we have shut down every single kind of update that there ever was to anything. Because here's the honest to God truth. When it comes to the internet, you don't need to worry about viruses, and you don't need to worry about all that if you go to only places that you know. If you click on only things that you know. If you download only things that you trust. If you open attachments only from email recipients that you know. If you only go to websites that are mainstream and not the dark web or pornography sites. See, that's where people screw up. I don't go to any of those sites. Okay? All my surfing is pretty straightforward, pretty legitimate, you know? Running my channel, doing my thing, checking on my space weather. And so, and even if I were to do something like porn or something, I would go to a site that I know, not go out searching the internet for it. So no matter what you're doing out there, you got to go to a safe place and do it. It's just like anywhere else. If you go hang out on the wrong side of Philadelphia, you're going to get rolled. So I'm weird about updates, but I'm also weird about where I go online. So I've kept myself out of trouble. But yeah, and if I had trouble, I would try to do that firmware update. But I don't know. I don't know, I don't know what the advantages of firmware updates are. Because to me, you're taking a risk to do the update. And if you're taking a risk to do the update, what's the benefit from the update? The radio works great. So that's why I've always just been weird about it. Let's check out a song called Walk That Walk. All right, I'll put that in my show notes as well. Like I said, Trey Radel just released an album today. You guys can check that out. Just type in Trey Radel. I'll type it for you. If you just put that name in Spotify or in iTunes or any of that, it should come up. He released it yesterday. It's pretty cool. You could be correct, Junior, but I don't think it's the radio. I think we've ruled out the radio as the problem. And I'll tell you why. Joseph hooked it up to his computer and it worked. And then Joseph back troubleshooted it using my computer. And we figured out that if we turn off the rig control and set it for Vox, the audio works fine. Anytime we turn the rig control on, the audio input into the radio goes to static. So it's the rig control, it's the computer. I have right now, he has a computer that it works great on. My two computers, I can only use it in Vox mode without rig control. Is that a big deal? No, because I stay on the same channel most of the night with FT8. I don't switch around. I do mostly FT8 on 20 meters. And so I'm not really too worried about that right this minute. I have two workarounds possible. One of them is to use another computer. I have 10 computers total. There's obviously one of them is going to work with it. I just got to find which one will work with it. The other option, I have a DEN cable for my FT100. That same DEN cable will plug into the back of this radio, and you can feed audio either mic, USB, or DEN. So I can actually feed the mic audio through the DEN cable and then receive through the USB cable and still have rig control. So that may be what I end up with. But one way or the other, I will get it going. I don't think I would ever do a firmware update on my 710. I'm afraid I'd brick it. I've had such bad luck with firmware updates. I have turned really nice equipment into dust collectors with firmware updates. I don't like firmware updates. What you doing, Mama? You ready to go to bed? This is her bedroom, so she can't go to sleep until we get done. You ready to go to bed? Yeah, my mom kitty. That's right. So anyway, this, by the way, comes with a regular antenna. I've just got this this little short abri on there. This little antenna works great on UHF. It don't work good on VHF at all. Don't even try it. All right. But see, if you're doing if you're working something with GMRS, that's all you need. It's 400 megahertz. That's all you need. That will get you almost the same range and distance and everything that the big long antenna does, and you don't have that big long antenna to have to deal with. Yeah, I don't know. I hope it's not firmware with this. But like I said, I'm going to get it working either with another computer or with the DEN plug and the signal length. I'll get it working one way or the other. Mama Bleep. That's right. That's Mama Bleep. Notice the white hairs. She's got white hairs all coming out. This cat, she's been real sick. And the last time before this last time she got really sick, she turned completely white the month after she was sick. And now she's doing it again. I don't know how long she's going to be around. She was feral. She's inbred. She's a neighborhood cat, and of course I've won her over. She's no longer feral, obviously, and she's fixed, and she's having a good life. But she's coming up on 10, and I don't know how many more years I'm gonna get out of her because she's kind of messed up. She walks around with her tongue hanging out. I think God made her tongue too long. I don't know. Yep, she's senior purr. I got a lot of cats that are getting up there. I got 5 or 6 cats now approaching 10. And then I got a couple of younger ones. Oh, guys, I'm going to sign off. Is there anything else? I got to sign off. I'm really tired. You guys just keep in mind, for those of you who don't know me, I produce 3 hours of talk radio on commercial radio. I do 3 hours of show prep, 3 hours of live show, and then I drive home, and in 1 hour I go back on the air again for 2 or more hours on here. So when you guys get me in the evening, I'm already kind of spent. Yeah, Jungle, we don't worry about the tongue hanging out. The vet said there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. That they just lazy tongue. I don't think I've heard it referred to as that, but that's kind of like the whole lazy eye. It's kind of like the same thing. But she does it quite a bit. She walks around with her tongue hanging out. I don't think quite as much since she's been sick, though. Her food consumption's down over the last week again. So I'm a little worried about that. She's a good kitty. Isn't that right? Oh, yes, yes, yes. All right. All right, I'm going to play a different version of my song on the way out, and we'll give it a little bit of music. Tomorrow morning, I'll be releasing the Helen video, all cut and edited up really nice with some music behind it, the enhanced voice. It'll sound really nice. I think you guys will like it. And then the next day, the next day or two, I'm also going to be releasing the Blairsville walk-around video. I'm going to be trying to get as many of these old videos out that I've been neglecting to make. Now that I've got everything set up and I'm going again, I'm over the roadblock basically, you'll be seeing a lot more videos going up and not just lives. All right, Eyes, thank you for coming in, and Jungle and Victor and Junior, thank you for coming in, everybody. I do really appreciate it. Kevin, thank you. All right, guys, I guess that's going to be it. I'll play this song again so you guys can hear it, but I'm going to play yet a different version of it. I haven't even heard this version yet, so we'll see what it sounds like here on the way out tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. My name is Ian. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth, and we have been live tonight from Starship Studios here in Southwest Florida. Say good night, Mama. Say good night. Good night, everybody. All right, guys, we'll play some music and we'll let you guys go.
Pitch, the rest can tell. You call, you write, you wait for months. Dead air answers from polished fronts. Bluted suits in carpeted rooms. Living off dues and yesterday's fumes. They preach community, cash the checks, then vanish like ghosts when you ask what's next. National Lord, but nobody's home. 50% don't make a throne. Charge more, do less. Smile and wave. Dig in the hobby and early grave. Volunteer my ass. This is payroll radio. Half the dues go straight 360 grand for the man up top. Volunteer org, just fucking stop. Half the money goes to salaries, while Elements dies of apathy. Hundreds employed, doing what exactly besides printing ads and calling it legacy? New clock, sorry, pay the toll, long forms, big fees, bureaucratic hell. National art, but nobody's home. 50% don't make a throne. Charge more, do less, raise the dues, cut the magazine, still feed the suits. Volunteer my ass, read the books. This ship's run by crooks in cardigans licenses every year, 3,000 join, then disappear. 600 stick it out till year 2, 600 more die. Numbers don't lie to you. Membership goals surpassed. What a joke was losing members. The goal you wrote, no target set, no plan, no spine, just glossy lies and declining lines. Captain says 49's a steal. Says it's straight-faced, says it's real. While the deck is flooding, alarms all scream. He's steering proud toward the iceberg gleam. We're still printing magazines like it's Reagan's term. Ads on every page, info half firm. Now raise the dues, cut the print. The same old scam, different 10, 59 bucks a month for ads and dust. No ID card, just please trust us. Living in the past, afraid of the net, social media ghost town, no regret. National Lord, but nobody's home. Still living like it's dial tone chrome. Can't stop the fees, can't save the bands. Didn't see the spectrum leave their hands. Volunteer my ass, it's crystal clear. This thing's been dead for 20 years. Used to fight for the hobby, fight for the air. Now Hayway wins, they just shrug and stare. License fees hit, they did nothing. 3 gigahertz gone, still bluffing. Why pay 59 a month for air? For nothing useful, nothing there, just